what I realized stands truer than anything is whatever you give more momentum ends up happening in your life. Whatever reality you end up giving more momentum to ends up being the experience you create in your life. And momentum is more emotional than physical or mental. Yes, it is also mental and physical, because mental and physical momentum leads eventually to more emotional momentum. In other words, what you truly seek from within you is what determines your next experience in life, is what you end up creating as your next experience in life. And so if life is presenting me with something that I don't want, if life is giving me an experience that I don't really want to be experiencing, I ask myself, how am I subconsciously or unconsciously seeking that thing, that experience, that reality more than what I'm consciously seeking, more than the experience I consciously want? How am I creating that experience? How am I projecting those experiences through my seekings, through my pursuits, through my internal seekings? How am I doing that? And that teaches me a lot. Recently I made a video called "Who Are You When Nothing Is Holding You Back?" And that tells you a lot about who you truly are and what you truly seek and why you are seeking that. It puts in contrast the differences between needing and wanting. But what I don't clarify in that video, the point I don't cover in that video is, ironically, who are you when nothing is holding you back? Who are you when no one is watching? And what I mean by that is, are you doing whatever you're doing, what actions you're choosing to take, whatever way you're choosing to behave, just for the sake of what it promises? Or do you really feel called to be that person, to act in that specific way? Do you really feel as if that's what you want to be doing? Are you doing it just for whatever outcome it might yield, whatever outcome you think it's gonna have, whatever benefits that it might lead you to? Or are you doing it because you want to be doing that, because you want to be taking those actions, because you want to be behaving in that way? Because if you're doing it, if you feel like internally you just feel like, laying in bed all day, binge watching and binge eating and being very unhealthy, not exercising and hanging out aimlessly, getting wasted or whatever, but you're choosing to act in a different way and react in a different way and behave in a very specific different way, a healthy way, exercising, cutting out all of those dopaminergic, high instant dopamine activities, because you think that's going to lead you to a specific outcome, then nothing, if that holds true for you, then nothing is going to change in your life externally. This is not to dismay or to discourage you. I mean, you might be rightfully thinking, yes, I'm feeling internally in a specific way, but I can't help it, I can't help how I'm feeling, yet I'm doing my best to act and react differently, to react in a specific way, and that's amazing. That's really amazing. So this is not to discourage you, but this is to say that as long as you keep feeling that way internally, then nothing is going to happen in your external reality. Because the moment you reap the benefits, the moment you reach to that goal, the moment you have those results that you've been seeking, that this specific version of yourself is promised to yield, you're going to stop being that version of yourself, and you're going to start being that old version of yourself, whom have created your previous experiences and the one before it and the one before it and the one before it, all the way to since you were that way internally. and then it's going to be pointless, and then nothing would have really been changed. And so that's why you cannot create that change externally unless you have that change internally, unless you start actually feeling like, yes, I don't want to be doing those things, I don't feel like doing those things, I'm not just forcing myself not to do them, but rather I don't want to do them, I don't feel like doing them even. And that's because universe, your source, higher self, your energy, God knows this to be true, knows that the moment it's coded within you, that the moment you have those benefits, you're going to revert back. You're going to become that old version of yourself, which has prevented you from having those things, from getting to that place. And so it's a clash, it's this alignment. This really tells you about what are you really aligned with. Are you truly aligned with that which you seek, or are you just faking it? Because actions could be faked, thoughts can be faked, but your emotional integrity, your emotional alignment, your emotional momentum is something that you cannot fake. And I've been there a lot, because that begs the question, so what? What then? What am I to do if I can't help how I'm feeling, yet I'm doing my best externally in terms of actions? What else can I do? And I've been there a lot. I've tried many times to force myself against my beliefs, against, my natural inclinations. I wanted to just, lay around and waste my time and not do anything and be absolutely mindless. Yet I kept working, I applied discipline, and I kept focusing, and I applied my laser focus onto something, tried and I tried and I tried. And nothing changed in my reality. The times, and once it changed, actually, it was after my laser focus, my discipline have eventually led me to change internally, to change emotionally, to feel as if I'm no longer wanting to do all of those things, that I'm no longer aligned with that kind of things, those kind of type of actions, and rather I just really want to be doing whatever I have forced myself to initially do. And that's why I'm telling you that physical and mental momentum eventually lead to emotional momentum. But the times I actually changed beforehand, not changed, like, of course I've changed mentally like more than 100 times, but I mean changed as in changed in how I want to react, how I choose to spend my day, how I feel like spending my day, how I feel, when do I wake up. Naturally, I'm not forcing myself to do anything. I just started meditating, and I started exercising, and I started doing yoga, and those changed how I'm feeling internally, changed how I rely on my desires, on my egoistic desires, and on my dopaminergic needs. And it completely restarted, formatted me, and I felt completely new. And at that time, whatever I needed to do, it was done. It came to me intuitively, and I took whatever action I took, led relatively instantly to my breakthrough with regards to that aspect, in regards to that aspect. And that's when you are changed. Are you really aligned, or are you just trying to force your alignment onto the universe? And that's, God knows that, if that's your truth. If you're just barely making it by until you get those results, and then you're gonna go back to your old self, it's pointless. You're not gonna have those things, because you're not those things already. That reminds me of my video, Manifest First, Act Later. Another one of my recent videos. You have the thing because you align with it, and then you play with it, then you interact with it. You don't work towards having something and then you apply it, but rather you get a friend, you have a friend, and then you interact with them, then you passionately interact with them. You get a toy, you get a gift, you get a game, you get whatever, and then you interact, you passionately and lovingly play with it and have it. But you have it. Yes, you could choose to be matter, creating matter by acting in a specific way to attract specific type of friends and faking it till you make it, but then it's more complicated. It's not how you naturally are. It's not how everything was created as energy creating matter. all of the stars, all of the universe was created as energy creating matter rather than matter creating matter. That's your most untainted and unrestricted and unhindered form. Now that begs the question, what more can I do if discipline is not the answer? And like I said, this is not to discourage you. And you have two options. There are two things that you could perhaps choose to do for this to solve this specific problem. One being is that you continue being matter creating matter until eventually your emotional momentum is gonna awaken. You're gonna shift completely, that you reach to a state in which even if you have those things, even if you reach your desires, even if you gain those goals, there's no way you're gonna revert to your old self. You might end up reverting later on at a different stage. But what I'm talking about, and then this thing is gonna disappear from your life, just like what happened with me, but when the point it manifests in your external reality, you would be in a state that feels, thinks, and acts as if there's no way it would revert back to an old version of yourself that prevented those things from happening. And that's the moment when those things are gonna manifest in your external reality. That's when you start creating new experiences rather than recreating your past through being the version internally that created all of your previous experiences that you did not want in your life. And that would be you matter creating matter. Force your way through all the way till your emotional alignment shifts into a vibrational match with that which you seek. Or start gradually applying a discipline in your life, not discipline, but like applying an approach to your life that shifts you internally. What I mean is that, yes, meditate. Start thinking thoughts of your future. Start falling more and more in love with how your future looks like, with that version of yourself in the future, until this version of yourself is not gonna be appealing anymore to you. This version that's emotionally dependent on high instant dopamine release activities won't be any longer appealing to you. You won't feel. Start meditating. Start raising your frequency is what I'm trying to say. Start raising your vibration is what I'm trying to say. Until you're no longer in alignment with all of those things that are preventing you from getting there, that are your current emotional alignment. Because that's my best approach. I've tried all different approaches to raising my frequency and aligning with specific things I want, and this was my favorite. This was really my favorite. It had the least amount of suffering. It had the least amount of struggles. Because if you're matter creating matter, trying to force your way through discipline, you're gonna struggle so much through those initial actions, which you're not gonna see any results from, because you're not yet emotionally aligned. You just feel emotionally that you wanna pig out, if you may. I'm sorry for the term, but if that's what I'm putting in the extreme here, and rather you're trying to become someone completely different, it's gonna be so hard. It's gonna cause you so much suffering, and you're gonna be fluctuating between those two states. You're gonna do this sometime, and then you're gonna do this sometime, and then you're gonna feel bad when you do this, and then you're gonna feel good when you do that, and it's gonna be a tug of war. I speak about this many times, the creation of suffering, the contrast, the split personality. I speak about this a lot in all of my previous videos, and that's why I would rather to be energy creating matter. And that's when I raise my frequency to the alignment, to the specific alignment of that which I seek, and then I pursue it in terms of action and in terms of work. And that would also actually include work beforehand, while you're gradually shifting your alignment, while you're gradually raising your vibration, your frequency, you would be taking an actions. Every day by day, you're gonna feel better, especially after you pass, like a week of momentum, of continuous momentum. you're gonna start really feeling better. And your actions are gonna be easier, more affluent, more smooth. Your effort is gonna be smooth, and it's gonna yield almost immediate results. Not like the ultimate end goal results, but like hints on your path, that you are doing the right thing. And it's gonna be way easier. But that's who you are when no one is watching. That's how you know if you're truly changed. That's how you know if you are recreating your past, or you're emerging anew, you're creating new experiences based on your emotional alignment. What is your internal world telling you to do? What are you internally being called to do? Is it to work on whatever you're doing? Or is it to just waste your time and do something completely different, and rather you're trying to force your way because this kind of path promises you things that you actually desire? Thank you so much for tuning in to another video by AF's Conscious Frequency. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, because it helps me so much, and it helps this video find its way to many more others who might actually need it.